What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Fortnite Battle Royale on BlackTideTV and Fortnite Season 5. That's right, for a nice change of pace, we'll be starting on Week 1 this time around. Season 4, I started at Week 5 and only got to post maybe 2 videos to the channel, which was unfortunate. So this time, we'll be playing a lot more and hopefully I'll have a lot more content for you guys. But this video was definitely heavily inspired by the Fortnite Discord channel that I have on my own personal server, BlackTideTV, which is linked in the description down below. I definitely advise you check that out if you're ever hoping to squad up with some other great guys, or if you're just looking to talk about Fortnite, the updates, and all of that good stuff. You can also suggest content to me over there. We've got a Call of Duty channel if you're more into Call of Duty and all that jazz. All kinds of stuff happening on the BlackTideTV Discord server, so make sure you head over there and join that one. It is completely open to everyone. But like I said, this video was heavily inspired. We had a nice big chat about Fortnite the other night, and some great ideas had popped up. But I'd like to give my superpower shout out of the day to Mr. Strange, who joined on the Discord server, and he had never really commented on the videos before, and I was wondering if he was new. But it turns out he was just a little quiet, a little shy, but he did pop over into the Discord server, so it's great to see him over there. I have to admit, I have been slacking a little on the superpower shoutout of the day for the last few videos, and I'm hoping to get to those as much as possible in the videos to come in the future, as well as a brand new segment on my somewhat daily show. Because I consider myself more of a talk show than a gameplay commentary channel, I'd like to give you guys some other things to think about, an extra little assignment at the end of my videos, because I'm so interested in pop culture as a whole, in books and games and movies and music. I'd like to get you guys interested in a couple other things. Not that I'm necessarily going to be talking about them in my videos, but as a shout out or a pop culture promo for other things in the industry. And the first one today, I've been talking about it in Discord, and I have to admit, I am all about God is a Woman by Ariana Grande right now. Don't ask me why, but I'm a huge Ariana Grande fan. I'm a metalhead at my heart and soul. I love metal, and that is my music to the day I die, but Ariana Grande just kills it for me. So I will link God is a Woman in the description down below. Make sure you check that out. Even if it isn't your go-to style of music, you absolutely have to appreciate the production value, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So I'll link the official music video and the lyric video in the description down below. You will not be disappointed. Meanwhile, I can't say the same for players of Fortnite Season 5. In fact, I was a little disappointed when I first opened the new season. I, like so many others, was expecting a massive game-changing overhaul for the Battle Royale map, with a number of different ancient civilizations featured very prominently. The leading theory coming out of Season 4, with the impact to the Storm Shield and a number of temporal rifts appearing around the map, teleporting real-world ancient objects such as ancient Viking anchors and English horse-drawn carriages. The leading theory was that Season 5 would be the ancient civilizations season of Fortnite. We've had space and we've had superheroes. It was time for Fortnite to get historic. And while they've gone that way in a small step, it's almost as if they're playing devil's advocate. They've got one foot in the grave right now, with half of the map being changed, but not changing it, not going full cold turkey, not making it really crazy and out there like a lot of players were expecting. I wanted to see medieval castles. I wanted to see ancient Egypt pyramids and ancient Greece. I wanted to see essentially Assassin's Creed meets Fortnite, and they kind of blew it. Instead, what we've been given is a mishmash theme, where temporal displacement is still very much a thing in the Fortnite universe, but the consequences aren't as severe as a lot of us were expecting. There was no resolution to the Storm Shield crack. There is still a crack in the sky, and there are still rifts that appear around the map that you yourself can access. If you run through those rifts, you'll be teleported a few hundred feet above where you are currently standing, and you can then parachute back into the map, which I think lends itself really well to some of the gameplay moments, and especially towards late game when you're parachuting into enemy players' bases. It's really great. It's like its own little jump pad. But they didn't do as much with it as we were expecting. Though I can say for certain, there are some large empty spaces. They've taken some things away, some points of interest, such as the large soccer stadium that was promoting the FIFA World Cup. That's gone, and there is nothing but an empty field there. They didn't replace it with Hogwarts, which was there before. It's just an empty field. And there are a number of areas around the map that I've noticed that are pretty large and open and nothing's really happening with them, and I'm expecting further updates. So in a little while we'll have pyramids start to appear, or other kind of crazy historic things might start to happen on the map. That being said, I can't go on without the mention of the unforgivable removal of the Retail Row gas station. Located just southeast of Retail Row, this was one of my favorite landing spots for as long as there have been landing spots. For as long as it was a twinkle in the eye of Epic Games, I've loved that gas station, and admittedly it was a little underpopulated, not a lot of people went, but they completely got rid of it, and you know what they replaced it with? Nothing. There is nothing there. There is a road to another settlement that is currently in the Paradise Palms desert biome. They've completely removed it and not replaced it with anything, and I am rattled because I feel like Epic Games is out to get me. They keep taking away my favorite landing spots. Hogwarts, the factories, Dusty Depot, which I'll admit to being extremely underrated. A lot of players complained about Dusty Depot, myself included, but we were wrong. Dusty Depot was actually pretty sweet. Dusty Divot right now is kind of the family disappointment. It's the red-headed stepchild because what is Dusty Divot accomplishing? It is a giant fucking forest in the middle of the map. Come get your mats here and then leave because no one wants to be in a hole underground with a ton of trees that you can't see through. Can we get some biologists up in this bitch to explain to me how there are trees, the biggest trees on the map, growing out of a crater that just hit the earth like a month ago? That's not how trees work. I don't know what the timeline is here in Fortnite, but that forest pisses me off. Not to mention that no one ever goes there. At least when it was Dusty Depot, there would be a ton of people going there for the 3 chests that you could possibly get. Dusty Divot has a ton of chests, and there's no one there. Trees clearly scare people away. That's why we live inside and play video games. Like, trees, gross. Get that shit out of here. No one wants your trees. Put a factory there or apartments. That's what's going on in my town. We're replacing all of the trees with apartments because people need places to live. And throw a McDonald's in there for good measure, drum up some business around the neighborhood, and we'll call it a day. We'll just call it the McDonald's and apartments area. But that's not the only new area of Fortnite Season 5. The Lazy Links Golf Course has replaced the northernmost farm of Fortnite Island, be that Anarchy Acres or Fatal Fields, one of the two. I've always had them mixed up. They're both very similar, and so I'm glad that one of them is biting the bullet for a very different point of interest. That golf course, which I would more like to compare to a mini putt. The holes are very, very small, like very small. No way that these would be legit man-sized golf holes in the real world. You need a lot of space for a golf course, and I feel like they could have put a few more holes around the edges because there's a lot of open field space around the golf course itself. But it also gave us the all-terrain cart, a new golf cart that you can drive around, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. You can power slide in it and do all kinds of crazy things. The top of the roof is a bouncy pad. They're really, really neat. But it just begs the question, why can't we just drive the vehicles that have been sitting around the map since day one? The vehicles are the same size as the golf carts. Just give us the same controls. Let us drive the vehicles. It would work the exact same way. The final named location you should check out is Paradise Palms, the center hub of the new desert biome in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. This one gives off some serious Dubai feels, and there are a ton of chests. It's already really underpopulated because it is still technically Moisty Mire. It's pretty far from a lot of storm locations, but you'll find some great loot because there won't be a lot of opposition there. It sounds crazy because it's so new, but I've played a few games and I've barely spotted a soul anywhere near Paradise Palms, especially if you land a little extra south or a little extra east of the city itself. And now, in terms of unnamed locations, that Viking settlement to the north of Greasy Grove is hardcore. It is exactly what I was expecting from an ancient civilizations theme in Fortnite Season 5. It is everything you could have asked for out of a Viking settlement. Unfortunately for us newbie boobies, it is extremely popular and extremely competitive due to its location. It is very, very high up, giving it a great vantage point on anything below anyone attacking that area. It is more or less central on the map, very close to a lot of very popular points of interest like Greasy Grove, Tilted Towers, and there's a ton of loot up there. So a lot of players are landing there, especially because it's new. It's also large enough that I'm surprised it isn't a named location given its significance to the Battle Pass and the overall theme of Season 5. Viking Valley, come up with something, because with so many of your character skins relating to this Viking settlement, it just seems like lazy writing to not have a name for such a massive location that has so much significance. For example, the final unlock of the Battle Pass at Tier 100 is a Norse god named Ragnarok that you can upgrade. Most of his upgrades just make his beard longer, but then you have a cool skull kind of helmet that you can put on. It's just like the heroes from Season 4. There are two main characters, and that would be Ragnarok and Drift. Now, I've got some things to say about Drift, because he kind of sucks. He's the main character, the character you get right off the bat when you start up Season 5 and purchase the Battle Pass. I don't know what Epic Games has about graffiti guys, and I mean, last season they had a huge thing about Technique, or whatever her name was, the spray paint lady. And now there's this spray paint guy. He was vandalizing the Durr Burger that teleported to the real world in California or Nevada or some desert over there in the States. He was vandalizing that, and he was the first person, the first thing to get sucked back into the Fortnite world. And he gets some really weird customizations. He starts out as just a guy, and then he gets like a hood, and then he puts on like a golden robe that I think like Justin Bieber wore one time, and he puts on like this weird wolf bunny mask. It's really weird. But I had a really cool idea from this customization that I think is a missed opportunity. One of the very first images we were given of Fortnite Season 5 was of Drift putting this new mask on his face, and he was not at a level of customization where he would be given that mask as of yet. If you're not aware, it's around level 3 or 4 of the upgrades to Drift that you actually get a mask. So he was in his very first original form, and he was putting the mask on. And I kind of thought, hey, maybe this guy isn't the main character that we'll get to customize. Maybe he's just a new spray paint guy, but he's putting on a mask that will now be an item players can pick up. And I kind of started speculating, and it went wild. So we never really got superpowers in Season 4. Season 4 was the superhero season, and none of the superheroes had superhero powers. We had Hop Rock so we could jump up in the sky, but no one really did anything super in that season. And I was expecting really cool powers that we never got. But what these masks could do, if there were mask pickups in the world, you have one mask on at a time. It doesn't take up a slot in your inventory because it's a class modification. Just like in Borderlands or any kind of RPG like that where you can get a class mod that gives you new abilities. So say he has this bunny mask. The bunny mask might give you more agility. You can jump a little higher, you can run a little faster, and you pick up that mask off the ground, put that one on, and you are now the bunny guy. Say you pick up a lightning mask, like a carbide mask or something, and that turns you into lightning or shock trooper, and all of your bullets now do a little bit of a lightning damage or something else. Like, you know what I mean? They could string damage from one enemy to another. Like, they could do so many cool things with classes, because a lot of other Battle Royale modes coming out in a lot of other games, they have classes, like Realm Royale, for example. Have Fortnite introduce classes with an item that you can pick up off the ground. So I thought that was a huge missed opportunity. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about that in the comment section down below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to join the Discord. Check out some of those links that I linked in the description, and I'll catch you guys all on the next video.